Hi everyone, welcome to this video on modernization. If you are watching this, it's clear that you feel the need for modernizing your existing environment. You would have already heard terms like rehost, replatform, and rebuild if you have already started the journey. These are by far the most common strategies people choose to migrate their existing technology investments. You must be also aware of the benefits and the differences between them. So, without getting into too many details, here are some graphs which will summarize the implications. I will leave some reading material in the description below if you would like to read more about it. These graphs will help you choose the right strategies and help you allocate funds in your CAPEX bucket or OPEX bucket. Most of the information is not new, and migration has been carried out in the last few decades. This definitely begs the question: why do migration projects fail? Let's look at some reports. You can find links in the description if you wish to read them. Here is what ZDNet published a few years back. As per the survey, the migration failure rate jumped almost 15% in 2 years. Also, if we look at the more recent study from Forbes, only 36% of projects were completed within budget and only 46% were delivered on time. And as the report rightly mentions, that is a very low rate of success. In this video, let's see if we can pin down some of the issues and understand why we are not seeing higher success rates. Let's discuss real examples rather than talking about something which is common knowledge. I am hoping this will help us in relating to the issues far easier. The first topic I wanted to discuss is understanding the existing system. Let's talk about a pharmaceutical company with which we worked. They wanted to transition their existing system into a brand new platform. We were working with them on the new platform, which was based on Microsoft technologies. As we moved into the requirement phase, we needed more detailed information about each subsystem. There was one piece of software that they used to calculate the drug percentages. When we went and asked how this calculation is done or performed, all of the scientists said, "We don't have a clue." And they added, "We just enter the values on this software right here, and the software does it." Now, you might think this is very improbable, but you will be surprised how many times it happens when you get used to a system. It's particularly very common when the software is really old. So that means, before we even get to that migration stage, we need to ensure that we collect all the right information or get the right people involved and make sure we have documented how the current system works. The other thing is if the technology is too old. For example, mainframe. Mainframe is mostly obsolete, and it probably exists only in a handful of organizations. And it's not a technology that is very easy to work with. In simple terms, there is no migration path. So, someone who understands the technology needs to read through the code and figure out a solution. That means having an expert level of knowledge. And unless you already have someone on your team, finding a capable person is really hard. So, if finding a person is not easy, what do? That's where investing time and energy upfront helps. Reach out to the right stakeholders and try to dig out that information. The final thing I wanted to talk about is feasibility analysis. New platforms bring in a lot of new capabilities, but may not retain all the features that the old platform gave you. So, it might not be possible for you to implement your requirement in the same exact fashion. A lot of business users who are looking at the solution from outside might not be able to comprehend this fact. But that is a very big truth. If you take the example of the cloud, it gives you so much computing power and many other new features, but it is still not your server. Or even if you get your own server in the cloud, it still runs on an infrastructure that you do not control. What happens if that data center goes down? New things bring new ways, so be ready to think differently. Making sure that the new platform supports most of your requirements, even if it's not the exact same way. Be open to change. Be open to implementing the same requirement, but probably following a different path. These are the 3 topics that I wanted to share with you today. If you summarize, you would see it is not so much about technology, but rather issues around clarity and effective planning. And these are definitely not the most complex problems to solve. But sometimes simple things create the hardest problem. things you should look out for would be: 1. Can the current technology can support the existing requirements? 2. Whether we are flexible. And lastly, are we fully prepared? To wrap up, there are a lot of success stories as well. Learning from them and figuring out what works best for your business is the key. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and thank you for listening in.